We've got some stories here today, and we're going to dive into the world of comic book movies. Um, and we're going to start with a pretty big story in general, and that's about Doomsday. So let's get to it. Let's talk about Doomsday. And Doomsday promo art offers a HD look at Robert Downey Jr.'s comic accurate Doctor Doom. Here you go. Okay. So Josh Wilding, one and only, says following our first look at Avengers Doctor Doom at the Walt Disney Studios Marketing Expo in Shanghai, an HD version of the promotional artwork has hit social media. Now we can see some of the finer details on Victor Von Doom's costume, including runes that pay homage to the villain's immense magical powers. There's a reason he's currently the Marvel's Universe's Sorcerer Supreme on the page. Many fans are convinced that Doom has Shang-Chi's 10 rings on his arm, and those are Kamala Khan's bangles. They were set to have ties to Kang the Conqueror. As multiversal artifacts, his variants had scattered through time. It's possible we'll see Victor similarly gather those to increase his power. Marvel Studios has nailed the design, and it's clear now that Doom is no Tony Stark variant. Well, it's hard to shake the feeling that there will be some link between the character. Why can't Robert Downey Jr. play another MCU character 7 years after bidding farewell to Iron Man? Tony Stark may be behind Downey, but he'll reprise his role as the Armored Avenger away from the MCU for Disneyland's Stark Flight Lab attraction. Talking to that at South by Southwest this past March, he reflected on what the character has come to mean. He said, 17 years I've been associated with an iconic superhero, but it's the message that he represents that I'm grateful for. Tony Stark opened my eyes to the power of technology has to. Tony Stark opened my eyes wider to power technology has to impact the world for good, and that's something I'll carry with me for the rest of my days. During the rounds to promote Netflix's The Electric State, filmmaker Anthony Russo revealed how Downey is approaching his new role as Doom. He said he's writing backstory, costume ideas. He just really loves rich three-dimensional characters, and I think he sees a real opportunity. Here's a picture there. And so what I've heard, as I mentioned up top, that again, there's no rumor to it. This is the official promotional art. So clearly looks exactly like it. I've also heard a while ago the two masks that were coming in as one of them. And it looks pretty damn accurate. So it looks pretty intimidating. I'm telling you also, and I'll tell you guys this too. I am very, very confident we are not going to see Downey's face much in this first movie.
Probably not.
Yeah. No. But Chris, what do you think of this art? Does it match up to traditionally? Thoughts on all this? What say you? Shopping for cars, it should be exciting, guys. It should be exciting, not exhausting. And that's what it feels like a lot of the times. But between misleading prices, hidden fees, it really does feel like a maze. Good news for everybody. CarGurus. That's where they come in. They rank the best deals, they verify the dealers, and they make sure you never pay more than you should. Your big deal, it just became a great deal. That is why they are so incredible. And I think that everybody should know about them. And I'm telling you about them now so you do. CarGurus is going to connect you with trusted dealerships when you're ready, ensuring a transparent, hassle-free buying process. CarGurus gives you the control to shop how you want to shop with the tools, the information, and data-driven deal ratings that you need. It's no wonder that SimilarWeb estimated traffic data shows that CarGurus is the #1 most visited car shopping site. You got to buy or sell your next car today. CarGurus at CarGurus.com. You got to go to CarGurus.com and make sure your big deal, that it's the best deal. CarGurus, CarGurus.com. CarGurus.com. Don't miss out on CarGurus.
Yeah, I love how this looks. I love a comic accurate Doom. And I don't know why for so long we've tried to make him, I don't know, less of what that is. I mean, he's basically Darth Vader with a different cape. And I love that look. I think it's rad. He's a powerful guy who wields magic often, who's really, really brilliant. I mean, I love seeing him look like he does on the page. I also like these other tie-ins too, to the idea of him like using the rings or other things like that, because it's making those post-credit scenes make sense. Why did we have to learn about them emitting beams out into the multiverse and resonating with everyone? Why was it a big enough deal that, Banner and Marvel and all these other people had to come talk to him? So I love that we're finally taking some of these loose threads that have felt like spaghetti at a wall for years and going, no. There is a plan. We are doing something with it. But most of all, I just love how he looks. And I do, like you said, hope that he does not take the mask off often. I hope that is on so often, because I do think it's still, for your average movie going audience, I still think there's a little bit of a distraction or a why as to why Robert Downey Jr. is being this part. And I'm sure they'll justify it in the movie, or I hope they do. But I know at least my go-to for people who don't know about comic movies to talk to them and see how they're feeling about it are to check in with my parents. Iron Man is my dad's favorite movie, and he knows nothing about the comics.
Wow.
And so this casting news super confused him. And so I
Right.
think it will help to just separate the character out a little bit of, yeah, it's the same face. Yeah, it's the same looking kind of guy, but it is a very different person. And having that mask on will literally just help separate that character so the audience can suspend their disbelief a little bit more and jump in and give Downey the opportunity to step into this role fully.
I totally agree with you. And Winston, I think that what it does also, as they said, it will eliminating the fact that it's a Stark variant, I think is a good idea, because I think that makes it a little bit more confusing, especially to casual fans who are going to step inside of the theater to watch this for the first time. But I think that by allowing him to put that mask on and be menacing in the way that Chris Carter said, like a Vader type, for the entire time, and you reveal his face later on down the line after he's caused just a pure kind of menace throughout it, it's a kind of a bigger impact, especially if you can explain it well enough. But what do you think? And explain to me, why does this guarantee? Because they say that we pretty much got a guarantee now that he's not a variant. Why?
I there's a theory that's been bouncing around in my head for a minute here, because the whole thing about Doom, obviously, like, there's a point at which he fixes his face and all that, but again, had his face, gets super messed up in whatever said experiment, so he puts the mask on, and you know, that becomes a part of his psyche, right? So what I'm thinking might end up happening is he looks like somebody else completely different, and if we ever see his origin, and they maybe show somebody different if we do whatever said origin, but once he actually comes to this planet, to this particular dimension, if he just Doom, being as calculated and as plotting as possible, could, in theory, because he's more than smart enough to do this, and because he's gotten his face fixed before, could have some sort of tech to make himself look like Tony to confuse people. And especially because you end up in a scenario where they're aware of the multiverse now, so the idea of a variant, so maybe they think it is, but it's just a Doom plot. I actually think that that might be a better way to go about it, and that Doom just came up with a good idea to manipulate people versus this is an evil Tony Stark, if that makes sense. So, like, then that way you can explain why Robert Downey Jr. is somehow playing this role, but you are not spitting in the face of the idea of that emotional death.
Sure.
You're just Doom using an evil plan to specifically pull one over on somebody.
Yeah. Well, I also think that we can get, sorry, Winston, but I also think that we can get a more emotional moment if he's wearing the mask the whole time, and the first time he takes it off, Tom Holland sees it, and when that goes down, like you said, so it could be like a really powerful moment. I agree.
Oh yeah, I love that theory, because then, yeah, you get that sad, oh hey dad, I mean Mr. Stark, I mean, oh no.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And that's and think about it, that art did very clearly kind of look like the bangles and the 10 rings. I actually thought that was, so if he knows he also needs those, you know, those two cosmic items to pull off whatever his plan is, what's an easier way to be like, hey, you guys are having trouble figuring out what it is? I'm Tony, man. I can help you, whatever.
Right.
I'm not actually Tony. Screw you guys. Screw your planet.
Right. So it's more so, and again, just to reiterate, so it's more so like he's stealing the body of,
almost like I know you still haven't seen the thing, but like, yeah.
No, I have seen it. I saw
you eventually saw it.
Yeah,
okay.
like 4 years ago. Yeah.
But yes, just to doppelgang it and just to take advantage of the fact that they would not be caught, to just get them vulnerable. That's it.
Right.
Not because he actually is a Tony variant and then making that a whole thing, just a means to manipulate. But Doom is Doom, and if anything, that's about as evil as it gets. Is you're literally convincing these other heroes to do your bidding. Doom loves doing stuff like that, so
yeah,
I think that actually might work.
I'm excited to see it. That's a good. I would much rather, to be honest, I would much rather him taking over a body or something along the lines than as opposed to being a variant. I just think that's just it's lazy at this point. I think I like the idea of him having to be a different person just in a different body. That would be great. But Chris, you pull the same type of theory there? You think that this could be him taking the body would be the best option, especially if they're pulling kind of from what the comics have done?
Oh yeah, give me Avengers does Face Off. I'm here
Yeah.
for that version.
Yeah,
That's
right,
great. That's
right.
great. Because also in my headcanon, I always wanted Nicolas Cage to be Doctor Doom. So
Oh my God.
I'm just gonna kind of go, and that's
What's
our
everyone
homage to
doing
him.
here?
Yeah, would be great. Would be great. But I do think that's so truly evil, because the idea of somebody walking around in the skin of your loved one.
Yeah.
Oh, that's sinister. Oh, that's so malicious and vile. And that's the kind of guy Victor Von Doom is.
Oh, 1,000%. But especially because I know the rumor was the reason he's doing this is supposedly because Cap deciding to have the life he wants is screwing up his universe. It caused incursions and whatnot. So I can't think of a better way to not only get what he wants, but to really stick it to him and be like, you know what you're never going to do again. And like, again, I think just he loves to press those buttons, but also be like, I am the only one that can fix this. You all, you think you can, but you do-gooders always screwed. I am the one. He has an ego on that guy. So
yeah. Well, I mean, it's the thing was that I like that Cap theory and everything too, because I've heard that quite often. The only thing is, again, I want to get a clear explanation because with timelines and all that, because when we see at the end of Endgame is that Cap has lived his entire life and he comes back and he gives the shield to Mackie. So it clearly has to be a different timeline that screwed it up. And they've explained that in the past, but they've got it to other people. They've got to explain it again because, all right, well, if Cap's normal Cap here, then that I guess Mackie never gets the shield. We never have that timeline where he's doing all that stuff because he never makes it to meet Mackie and Sebastian. So you've got to be able to, you know, differentiate and say, there's no, that's a different timeline. And that's fine. Loki can explain it in a scene, but it's got, you can't just do a, oh, well, you'll figure it out. No. Tell us, or it's going to get sloppy. Yeah. Okay. What do you guys make of the mask? What do you think? What do you think about the potential idea of where Doom can be, who he's going to be? Put your thoughts in